Hello and hope you are healthy. In this video we want to talk about corona in animals. Researchers are experimenting with a species ranging from bats to jaws to find evidence of coronavirus in the wild. During the birth of COVID-19, researchers found coronavirus infections in dogs and domestic cats, and in several zoo animals including large cats and gorillas. These infections occur when employees use personal protective equipment. In December, the U.S. Department of Agriculture approved the first case of a wild animal infected with the COVID-19 virus. Researchers found an infected wild mink near a coyote-infected mink farm. Are humans transmitting the virus to wildlife? If so, what does it mean for wildlife and humans? To answer these questions, stay with us. Subscribe our YouTube channel to watch the rest of this video and more. How the virus jumps between different species. According to the conversation, scientists from Tufts University in the United States are conducting a study to investigate the possibility of transmitting SARS-CoV-2 from humans to domestic and wild animals. Jumping a virus from one species to another is called an overflow. Fortunately, the overflow does not happen easily. To infect a new species, the virus must be able to attach to a protein on the cell and enter the cell while escaping the immune system that the virus has not previously encountered. Then, as the virus tries to avoid antibodies and other antivirus attackers, it must multiply enough to be transmitted to the next animal. This usually means that the closer the two species are to each other, the more likely they are to have common viruses. Chimpanzees, which are closer to humans than any other species, become infected with many human viruses and become infected with them. Earlier this month, San Diego zoo veterinarians reported that zoo gorillas were infected with SARS-CoV-2. This suggests that the virus may be transmitted from humans in close proximity. Some viruses tend to remain in a single species or very close species, while other viruses appear to be more capable of large interspecific jumps. For example, the flu can infect a variety of animals, from sparrows to whales. Similarly, coronaviruses constantly jump between different species. The question of how many and which species can be infected with SARS-CoV-2 and which one may be able to support the continuous circulation of the virus is an important question. For SARS-CoV-2 to occur in humans, the animal must be exposed to a sufficient amount of the virus to become infected. The most dangerous conditions are direct contact with humans, such as veterinary care of an injured animal. Contact between a sick person and a pet or livestock is also dangerous, because domestic animals can host intermediaries and eventually transmit the virus to wildlife. Another way that COVID-19 can be transmitted from humans to animals is through indirect infection, such as sewage. COVID-19 and other pathogens can be detected during lesions, many of which are eventually discharged into environments where wildlife such as marine mammals are exposed. It is thought that this is how California elephant jaws became infected with the H1N1 flu during the 2009 swine flu outbreak. To determine if SARS-CoV-2 overflow is occurring, Tufts University researchers are collecting and testing animal specimens. They have so far tested about 300 wild animals in more than 20 species, but no trace of COVID-19 has been found in any of the species, from bats to jaws and coyotes. Other researchers have begun targeted wildlife surveillance in places where captive animals have been infected. The first confirmed wild mink infection was found during surveillance near a contaminated mink farm in Utah. It is unknown at this time what he will do after leaving the post. but the high density of contaminated mines and their contaminants made it a dangerous place. Here is a warning for animals and humans. When a virus infects a new species, it sometimes mutates and adapts to infecting, reproducing, and efficiently transmitting to a new animal. This phenomenon is called Haas compatibility. When the virus is transmitted to a new host and begins to adapt, the results can be unpredictable. In late 2020, when SARS-CoV-2 jumped into Danish breeding mink, it made mutations that were unusual in humans. Some of these mutations occur in a part of the virus that most vaccines are designed to detect. These mutations have appeared several times independently on mink farms. It's not yet clear what effect these mutations have on human disease or vaccines, but these are signs of host compatibility that could allow new variants of the virus to remain in animal hosts and reappear in the future. Another risk is that SARS-CoV-2 can cause disease in animals. Ecologists are particularly concerned about endangered species such as the weasel, which is closely related to mink and is thought to be highly vulnerable to the virus. Human-to-wildlife overflow has occurred before. In the late 20th century, Ebola virus was transmitted from humans to large cappies, with devastating consequences for these endangered animals. Recently, a human respiratory virus has been identified in endangered mountain gorilla populations and caused their death. But perhaps the greatest danger to humans is that an overflow could lead to the creation of reservoirs of their coronavirus in new animals and regions. This could provide opportunities for COVID-19 to re-enter human societies in the future. This month, researchers published an article showing that human-to-mink-to-human transmission occurred on mink farms in Denmark. Researchers at Tufts University have so far found no evidence of COVID-19 in American wildlife, but there is convincing evidence of regular overflows to dogs and cats and some zoo animals. Of course, it is disturbing to see the first wild animal to naturally have a COVID infection, but unfortunately it is not strange. What do you think about this disease? Can we get rid of it? How is it possible? Leave your comments for us, and if you are interested in these kinds of videos, subscribe our YouTube channel to see the rest of them.